There is an event happening soon in crypto that is going to put a lot of investors in a very bad spot. Now, it's coming up in less than a month from now, and I've been extremely worried reading some of the comments underneath my videos because it seems a lot of people are forgetting how crypto fundamentally works. You see, typically in crypto, what happens on the surface level is really far from what's actually happening in reality. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit more about what I'm talking about here in just a second, but for the purpose of this video, I want you all to have a good, hard think about what I say, because it most definitely will have a huge impact in how much money you walk away with at the end of this bull run. So let's, of course, dive into this really important and critical situation together, and importantly, how you can best prepare in the event that I am right. So with all that out the way, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoy the content at any point in this video, and subscribe for more daily crypto alpha. So the comments I've been seeing underneath my videos are people discussing the Bitcoin spot ETF date. Now, they're not discussing whether it will or won't be really approved on January the 10th. I think most of us can see with evidence that at least a few will likely be approved on January the 10th. The discussion begins heating up when people start to say we're going to have a pump or we're going to have a dump when this news is released. So today, I'm not just going to go over some proof and reasons why I think we might actually have a dump in this case, but I want to actually go over how we can benefit, whether it does pump or whether it dumps, how to position yourself and your portfolio to kind of create the best outcome possible in this case. Now, I've spoken with a lot of people recently, particularly one-on-one consultation people, and I have noticed that they are really underexposed to crypto right now because there has been this massive, hey, we're going to have a massive crash here coming up soon, or a black swan event. And this has caught people off guard, made them complacent, and didn't buy at prices that actually were a good time to buy. So this is mainly going to be for everyone as well who really doesn't know what to do right now. Do I sell some of my crypto, take a profit and wait for a crash? Or do I buy some crypto now and, be a little bit exposed? What to do and why? So that's going to be the main answer of today's video. So with that being said, I've been on both sides of this fence. I was initially someone who was extremely bullish on this news coming out, thinking to myself, we're going to have a massive spike to the top. We're probably going to even hit the all-time high and come down a little bit. And now I am someone who thinks we're actually going to have a crash. We're going to have a buy the rumor, sell the news event, and this is why. This is the Bitcoin current chart right now. And as you can see, there's two types of news I really want to send home with you that happens in crypto, okay? So the first bit of news happens when we have a sudden announcement, like a partnership, for example, or some event that happens suddenly on the day. No one really knows about it, okay? Now, this is what happened over here with BlackRock when they filed their Bitcoin spot ETF out of the blue. No one saw it coming, obviously, and rightfully so. Sent Bitcoin to the heavens, definitely spiked up suddenly, consolidated, and of course, we came back down because we were in, at least that time, a pretty bearish situation. However, over here, and where we kind of find ourselves right now, we had multiple spot ETFs that could be approved in December. They obviously weren't, likely January now, but this news came out from multiple different sources, giving people confidence in buying Bitcoin for a buy the rumor situation. Now, of course, just like this, there's no actual thing that's happened just yet. People are buying to anticipate the actual news from, creating more of a buy pressure, right? So in this case, billions of dollars entering Bitcoin, again, causing it to go to the heavens. But again, this isn't the same situation as down here, because people aren't buying the news. People aren't buying what's just come out. People are buying the rumor or the hype. People are buying to anticipate that to happen on the day of the news. Now, I'm going to go over some altcoins here in a second to prove my point. Typically, when this happens, and I say typically very importantly here, we have on the day a crash. Now, again, we'll come back to why I use the word typically just a moment. So what I see possibly happening is, this is the global market cap right now. I could see us falling from the current price down to about 5%, this level of support over here at 1.5 trillion, right down to about 1.3 trillion, which would be about a 15% drop, okay? But again, this would be perpetuated by this first sort of dotted line over here being the first wave of the Bitcoin ETFs being approved. I get it. You're thinking to yourself, Kyron, well, how can the Bitcoin ETFs actually cause a price to fall when there's going to be money coming into the market? That's why I say typically here. We'll get to it in a minute. We also have a second bit of possible negative movement based on the Bitcoin halving, right? Now, that's typically a very bullish thing. Typically, when Bitcoin halves, the price goes up after. That's what causes a bull run. Yes, you're correct in saying that, but you may not know that actually, when the halving first occurs, we do have a slight correction. This was the previous cycle here in the green, and the cycle before that, 2013, was in the dark blue. And as you can see, the halving date actually caused a correction in the price of Bitcoin. Now, why? Well, to put it in layman's terms, basically, if you went to work tomorrow and your boss said to you, hey, Jimmy, I want you to do the same work you're doing right now, but I'm going to pay you half. How do you feel about that? The same thing applies. Just like you saying, F you, I'm leaving, the Bitcoin miners do the same thing. The ones that aren't profitable, what they do is they sell their Bitcoin to stay in the black rather than going into the red. And this causes the price of Bitcoin to fall. When it falls, it becomes even less profitable for even the big miners to actually make a profit. They sell their Bitcoin, and what's called a capitulation happens. It just kind of makes itself worse and feeds off itself. But in this case, reputable sources have claimed that it won't really happen as significantly this time because a lot of these miners are very profitable, right? Their balance sheets are really in the black, and so they won't really have a situation where they need to sell their Bitcoin. They can just kind of run through, I guess, the storm, essentially. So where am I going with all this? Well, again, I am going to really take this attention to a buy the rumor, sell the news event. That is kind of what is occurring right now. It is not an event that typically we have without being pre-disclosed. So this has happened many times across crypto since its inception. We can see with Cardano over here, back in 2021, there was a massive update with Goguen, I believe it's how you pronounce it, the smart contract platform upgrade. Buy the rumor happened over here. When it came out, sell the news. It tanked. Same thing with Chainlink more recently, right? Buy the rumor, massive CCIP happened. It did pump, but the news, of course, it crashed. And again, Arbitrum even more recently over here. Buy the rumor happened, Arbitrum orbit, sell the news. So this happens quite a lot in crypto. And if you're thinking to yourself, why? Why, Kyron, does this happen? Why doesn't price just keep going up? Because it's happened. There's an upgrade. It makes the network instantly better. And in this case, it's going to increase the price of Bitcoin because of demand. Now, this is the thing. Upgrades typically do not equal instant demand. An upgrade takes time to yield the fruits of its creation. Put it this way. If a new upgrade came out, it takes a long time for developers or for people to begin using that particular platform to make it any sort of revenue and money. So there's no actual price appreciation from that. But again, when I said typically before, it's because a Bitcoin spot ETF actually will bring in instant demand for Bitcoin. Now, here's the thing about demand for Bitcoin and its ETF. This is Van Eck and this is Bitwise, two ETF managers. They actually are themselves part of the 13 issuers of their own ETFs, and they don't predict much money is coming into Bitcoin, guys, unfortunately. Van Eck says around $1 billion in the first few days and around $2.4 billion in the first quarter, with only $40.4 billion in the first 2 years. Bitwise, again, probably even worse, says the ETF could bring as much as $50 billion to $100 billion over the next 5 years. Interesting. So what this basically means is that we're not going to have Bitcoin going up in price dramatically. We're going to have Bitcoin likely moving up from the news because, of course, the institutional buyers or regular retail that doesn't have immediate access to crypto or Bitcoin, they'll begin to buy, hey, great, BlackRock's got their ETF, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. Yes, so it will cause a appreciation in the price, which might cause more degens like you and I to go, hey, I want to buy some Bitcoin now too because the price is going up even more. But it's not going to have that carry-on effect that people do think, because there's only so much momentum that will really cause before people go, hey, why isn't Bitcoin up 30% right now? Why isn't Bitcoin up 10% right now? They will probably panic. It's happened many times before, which could cause that sort of event where we actually come down 5 to 15%, okay? So keep your eyes glued to the screen, and this is sort of what a lot of people are beginning to think. They're thinking to themselves, and again, what I've sort of realized from doing a lot of these one-on-one consults is, for those who are mostly in cash, hey, I'm just going to wait for this to happen. Again, like you said, Kyle, like these, asset managers / ETF issuers have said, there's not going to be much money coming in. I'm going to wait for a crash to happen before I start buying. I'm going to hold off and not buy any crypto right now. But I actually disagree with that. While I think that that's actually going to happen, I don't think that you should be mainly in cash, because we'll work it out right now, but effectively the risk in this situation far outweighs your reward. We're going to go over it. So anything you do in crypto, you should always assess risk to rewards. This is always the first thing I do before I buy, sell, whatever I do. So you don't want to gamble. You don't want to be 50-50 in anything basically, right? You want to have the reward in your favor. So you want to ideally have 1:3, okay? So to do this, I want to take you through what the potential situations are. So if you are someone who wants to buy some crypto, okay, this is the hard facts. If you buy any crypto in the top 50 to top 10 right now, you're likely going to 10x in 2024 and 2025, whenever the top really happens. You could buy almost any top 100 coin right now and likely 10 to 15x. And you can almost buy any top 200 coin and basically 20x. So effectively, you still make money. If you buy your assets right now and actually end up coming out that we do crash, say 10, 5, 15%, well, of course, you're still going to make money in the end, aren't you? However, if you just hold cash, if you crash, yes, you're going to be very happy with yourself, right? You're going to be saying, I told you so, no BS crypto. I'm buying at a 20 to 50% discount. Suck it. I'm going to get a good deal. Cool. I would be very happy and proud of you. However, you are also risking buying at a 50% markup. If these things are approved, okay, and we don't have a massive correction after they're approved and price continues to go up and up and up, you're going to be really sad and depressed, okay? So again, we have to assess both of these situations in this case and come up with a very nice idea of what we should be doing right now. Again, we're about a month away from this actually happening. So what percentages is acceptable to be in? How much crypto and how much cash should you really hold? Well, as I say here, it really does depend. I can't have a one-size-fits-all thing for everyone out there, but what I would go ahead and say is a 1 to 3, or effectively a 75% in crypto and 25% in cash is likely ideal. Now, here's the reasons why. Number one, you'll be able to double your crypto position in terms of how many tokens you hold with the 25% cash you have if we go down 20% or more globally. So if you remember over here, I think a level of support is about 15% drop from today's price, but a 20% drop honestly wouldn't be too unrealistic either. A $1.2 trillion market cap would actually have to fall about 300 billion. Again, kind of not out of the realm of possibility here. In that case, again, you'd be able to buy basically with $25,000 if you had a 100K portfolio, what you had initially put in with the $75,000. Pretty good. Number two, you're playing a less risky game. If you hold more than 25% of your portfolio in cash, you're risking buying a large portion of your portfolio at far higher prices, even with future pullbacks. And number three, the chance we fall more than 20% globally here with the ETF's approval is very low. That would put Bitcoin at give or take around between $30,000 to $35,000, which is on the lower side. Again, we have the ETFs approved at that point there. Of course, Bitcoin, particularly speaking, will be quite supported at those lower $35,000 levels. So I don't think that'll happen, hence why I'm kind of saying, realistically speaking over here, 5 to 15% is where I would see the drop happening. So either way, I think, again, you're much better off in this case holding more crypto than you are cash. You have the benefit of injecting more cash at 25% into your holdings right now if we do have that crash. And if we don't have a crash and we maybe drop 2, 3, 4, 5% and continue up, you are 75% in crypto. That 25% can be used to DCA more or buy new altcoins when they come out throughout the course of the bull run. So that is why I recommend this. Again, not financial advice. That is what I would do. And actually, matter of fact, this is basically what I am myself right now. But I get it, right? Because I know a lot of you, especially spoken to on one-on-one calls, are 50, 60, 100% in cash right now. So if you haven't already, find your entry levels in your altcoins to see if they qualify your investment. Again, you're thinking to yourself, Kyron, this is all great. I want to buy crypto now. I want to put my 75% in. But how do I know what to buy? Well, again, you could take a blind shot right now. Definitely take a blind shot and, buy a whole bunch of crypto. But you really shouldn't do that because chances are you should all have one thing in mind, and that is a clear goal. My goal is a 20 to 30x. So this is what I would do if I was you. Go to my price prediction sheet. Now, this is, of course, not financial advice itself. I've got 40 altcoins in here for you all. Now, this is all chosen with data. I had no opinion on this. This was all chosen based on market dominance. And we're going to use Hedera as an example here. So I updated the price with Hedera. $1.73 is my price prediction for HBAR. What we do in this case is go to the trading view chart on any of your projects you're looking to get into and plot down that price prediction level. In this case, again, $1.75, you mark that. Now that level, we never, ever, ever look to buy anything above that. That is the ceiling. That is the best Mickey Mouse world situation the project can actually go to. What we then do is come down 25% and mark that level. This level now, this red level, actually becomes the realistic price we can ladder sell out to. because ladder selling requires you to sell some positions above the line to average out that level, again, this becomes a much more realistic level in which we can actually ladder sell out to. So we go 25% down. I've gone down 28% because I wanted a nice round number to show you all with HBAR, but again, 25% would be that mark for you. Now, to find if you can even begin buying the altcoin right now or what entry level you can start at, you have to, of course, go back from your goal. If your goal is a 10x, look for a 10x. Like me, I want a minimum 20x in this case, so that is what I look for HBAR. So I'll get my price tool over here, mark up from the current price, and go to this new price prediction level. We can see 1300% comes up, so that means we're looking at a 14x in this case from the current price. Here's what you'll do. Zoom right into the chart and go down to the level in which you actually can start getting your multiples, or at least your goal, right? So I would come down, look for 1900%, which again would be a 20x, so 1900%, and then we can mark that level, all right? Now this level becomes a level in which you can dollar cost average at, which is again 6 cents for HBAR. However, in this case, we don't want to actually sell HBAR at the highest max realistic level because, of course, the lower we sell HBAR at, the better, the safer. If I sell HBAR at 50 cents, that's safer than selling it at $1.25, right? Much more realistic. So we want to actually bring down that level as much as possible to make it achievable, okay? Make it actually achievable. So what we'll do in this case is come down to this level again and likely just move it down to probably where I would find about 20 here, about HBAR being at about 5 cents, right? I would mark that level. Now, you don't want to find a price that's far too unrealistic. You can see HBAR over here in the last 12 months in the bear market was basically trading around and just under this level. Some projects you won't be able to have this luxury. Some projects you'll have to go up a little bit more, but for HBAR, an argument's sake, we're going to pick the level of 5.5 cents. So you'll see over here, I've got a 22x, basically a 23x, right? I'll come back up to this price prediction level and I'll actually mark down to find my 1900%, which is right about here. And this now will become my ladder sell out level. Now, as you can see, that comes to $1.10. So what this effectively has done is I am looking to get out of HBAR at $1.10 if I can get my average buy-in price at $5.05. So in my opinion, I will never ever buy above this line because then it makes that actual 20x I'm looking for at that $1.10 level impossible, and also it just makes it more risky. I would only buy at this level and below, which will give you an entry level. So again, if you're someone like, for example, looking for a 5x or a 10x, if this was HBAR, you again will be able to actually begin buying probably up at about 11 cents, right? Because that would actually meet your targets here. It's going to be different for everyone depending on what your goals are. So as you can see over here, this would be about a 9x. So realistically speaking, if we drop this down to here about 10 cents, that actually is a level in which you can buy HBAR for, again, that $1.10 10x. So we can see there's actually a good time to buy HBAR. Okay, so please take this into consideration. It all stems from the price prediction and work down. Again, lower is better. So try to get your actual sell level out, that green level, that $1.10 level, as low as possible, whilst also making it somewhat achievable for you to receive your multiples or dollar cost average level. So in this case, if HBAR didn't tick those boxes, simple, I'd move on and find a new project. Now, with that all being said, I hope that's made a lot of sense and given you the opportunity to, I guess, assess your current position and make an informed judgment based on what is just around the corner. If you've made it this far, I would love if you liked the video and subscribe for more daily crypto alpha. With that being said, take good care. Talk to you soon.